Sorry I couldn't find any good music. I didn't want to use Earthbound for the 100 billionth time. But today I finally got my hands on a 3A figure. I have been wanting 3A figures for so long, and Off the Grid just helped fuel that passion. So this is my review for the figure. And okay, yeah, there he goes. But yeah, so we will be looking at this figure and stuff. So I'm very excited, and I hope you guys enjoy. Okay, I can't stand that music, sorry. But these figures, yeah, I've been wanting them since a long time. Off the Grid, but Off the Grid, like I said, just fueled that passion. I really was fascinated with these guys. But I want to give some backstory first. Now, see, if you couldn't tell, I am absurdly edgy. And one of the debatably edgy things I like is diesel punk. I love diesel punk. Listen, there are tons of cool whatevers. Steampunk is great and all, but diesel punk is something that a lot of people don't know. Yeah, diesel punk isn't that... it's a niche thing. According to Wikipedia, diesel punk is a retrofuturistic subgenre of science fiction, similar to steampunk or cyberpunk, that combines both the aesthetics of a diesel-based technology of the interwar period through the 1950s with retrofuture aesthetic and postmodern or whatever. This is one interpretation. Now, see, this is one interpretation of it, like I just said, but a lot of people think of it connected to Mad Max, which I would say, yeah, that's pretty true. I think for most people, diesel punk is a mixture of what I just said from Wikipedia and Mad Max. Now, going back to 3A, they made a line called WWR, or World War Robot. World War Robot is a very cool line where it's basically diesel punk, Mad Max, whatever, but they're fighting robots and they make all these cool robot designs and it's beautiful. I love it. So yeah. So they normally specialize, with my understanding, they normally specialize in around 1/6 scale figures, so like G.I. Joe, like the old G.I. Joe size, 12 inches, 1 foot, to 6 feet, okay? But they did make a 1/12 scale line. And 1/12 scale is my favorite line, so I defined it. Now, see, because these figures are bigger, they get more detail, which makes the cost go up and stuff. So that's why we have stuff like this, which is kind of understandable, sure, whatever. Something that is a bit annoying, though, is when a company makes the figures that you're looking for, but then they stopped like a couple years ago, so all you can find are these ones for sale, but they're like kind of scams sometimes, maybe, but then they're not, and they cost $500. But it's not like you're not paying for quality. The quality on these figures is crazy, full-on fabric stuff, and the fabric's good, it's custom made, and all the aesthetics, and oh my god, it's beautiful. And so when I find a good deal, I have to go for it. So I found one for a very good price. And so with that said, let's look at here, say the name here.
Kuan DePlume.
1/12 scale WWR figure 3A, awesome, I don't know. Starting off with the detail, these guys get an instant win. It is incredible, I love them, oh my god. Dude, look at this. This is the exact thing that I think that this represents diesel punk in a figure. If something could just summarize it, it's this figure. The amount of stuff they were able to put in this figure is incredible. Oh my god, like it is amazing. I have no words. I have no words. So here's one of the things I don't like about the figure, though. So right as I was, filming this, I moved him to, set him up for the next shot, when his hand doesn't really hold the weapon that well, causing it to literally fall, and I lost it mid-review. Shit. Oh my god, did I literally just lose it? Yes, you did. Oh, goddamn. Now, I would normally move on to accessories, but if you couldn't tell, something just happened. Now I'm going to let Past Clay explain it a little bit. It's a bit awkward because we just lost one, which is getting into one of my problems with the figure. Not counting any of the little accessories that he has, like this stuff. I don't know if it's just because I got this as a used copy, but the one pistol that he came with does not fit in his hand very well, to the point where it fell out, and now I lost it. Mid-review, so that's kind of funny. But yeah, so you can see, I don't exactly know why it doesn't fit. It could possibly be because these are almost rubbery, and it doesn't fit in the hand very well. I don't know, it's weird. Another one of the common complaints of this figure is that he has no ankle tilt, no foot articulation at all of any kind. The closest you will get is this swivel, which does limit the posing a bit, but I mean, for amazing butterfly joints, I really can't complain. Speaking of the joints, you may notice that the joints are actually a lighter plastic than the normal arms or whatever, and this is all throughout the body. I'm guessing that's because this is a different kind of plastic that's more strong or something, so it's better for bending, but honestly, I don't know. Moving on to articulation, he is incredible. Full on knee and spinny feet, double jointed arms and double jointed knees, wrist swivel and bend and whatever you want to call it. Front and backward butterfly joints, and an incredible head. It goes around this far forwards and about this far backwards. So normally how I record this stuff is I might say what I'm going to say and then I'll repeat that with my better microphone. But this part I say nothing, so it's kind of funny, I'm just pointing at it. But basically that part on my figure broke, but I could just use super glue to repair it. So it's not that big of a deal. Also, every pocket on this figure has Velcro which opens. There are a couple that are completely, dried because it's like an old figure. So, but I would be surprised if there was one that wasn't perfectly mint condition. Plus, I think because of the aesthetic, it kind of adds to it. When I was actually looking for the ThreeA figures, I was actually looking for a different version, but I stumbled across this one for way cheaper, and it was actually available. While I was originally looking for these, I slowly fell in love with this red and yellow color scheme, and he's just such a dapper fellow. When I was looking for these guys, though, there wasn't much info on them or anything. Probably because they're so expensive and rare now, kind of. But yeah, I couldn't find much on him, so I wanted to know if this thing could actually flip up and if you could take it off and if there would be a gas mask under it, and the answer is no. Clay probably a while ago would have been a bit sad, but now I don't mind it and I actually really like this aesthetic.
Also, I think that there's wire inside of it, but I don't know for sure.
I consider myself pretty good when it comes to posing. I think I do a decent job enough. I think I'm pretty good with it overall, but there's something about this figure where it's a bit hard for me to pose. One of the poses that I like to do as a test, usually, is the pose I showed off a couple times, which is where it's super simple. He just does he basically just holds his arm out like this. He basically just holds out his arm like this, and then he would normally have a gun there, but we lost it. So he's like basically just shooting out. But I don't know what it is. No matter how much I do it, there's something about it that's a little off. I don't know. Like, okay, this is a custom figure that I made. I kit bashed him. And we can make him do the pose. And while I wouldn't say his is perfect, I would say it feels a bit, I don't know, it's weird. It's a bit strange. I don't exactly know what it is, but there is something off about it. His gun wasn't perfect, far from it, but I don't know. It's weird, I don't know. After I was done recording this, I realized something really interesting. When I started editing, I put him next to my desk, sat him on my computer, put him in a couple places, and I realized he did better there than when I posed him. And it reminded me of how Moonshine used them in Off the Grid. He didn't use them really that much in fighting. He mainly used them as merchants. And it gave me this whole new perspective, and I can see the figure as that now. And with that thing, he just becomes a perfect figure. But with that said, this figure is just incredible to like an absurd extent. I mean, these, with all the flaws that he has, I still definitely want to get more 3A figures in the future, if I can find them for a good price, and I would recommend that you do too. These figures are just incredible, and I love them very much, even if they have their flaws.
By the way, he's like almost exactly 6 inches tall.
But with that said, thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next one. Bye.